All right, this is a video exclusively about the Paynes, and finally, it looks like we have some episode summaries on TVGuide.com. And the interesting thing is that the dates seem to be a bit strange in the fact that it says Tuesday, January 16th at 10 and 10:30 p.m. about the first two episodes airing, when, to my knowledge, I thought it was supposed to be on the 12th, being the Friday of that week. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just, aside from the dates, let's just look at the episode titles themselves. And again, spoilers before I reveal the picture, so if you don't want any information. But to be honest, the Paynes is like a fun show, like if Love Thy Neighbor or Meet the Browns. So really, I mean, if you want to look at the episode synopsis, then that's cool. I mean, if anything, it should give you a little bit of excitement, especially with episode 1, which I'm going to talk about right now. I feel like this should definitely make some people intrigued, because my last video was about the confirmation that old characters will be returning to the show. So if you don't want any spoilers, click off the video now. Thanks for supporting the channel. But for everybody else, here we go. The first episode will be called A Surprise for the Paynes. In the premiere, Curtis and the rest of the Payne family take a road trip to Florida, where Ella receives a stunning surprise. Now, we don't really know what this means in terms of the surprise. I mean, maybe we do based off, some articles and whatnot. But the fact that this is what I want to talk about. Curtis and the rest of the Payne family take a road trip to Florida, meaning that it is possible that all the characters from season, House of Payne will be in this episode for the road trip. I'm talking CJ, Jasmine, Malik, and the rest of the family, like Calvin. I feel like, Curtis and Ella are going to take that road trip. And then that's, of course, when the surprise is going to happen. It'll be like a basic family road trip. But with the Paynes, there is nothing basic about that family. Something's going to happen, which leads to the next episode, Revelations of Payne. Ella is fuming after Curtis makes a life-changing decision without her input. Meanwhile, Curtis discovers that he has been duped into a bad investment. Being that Curtis is all about the money, 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 I feel like it's something that he does without her. Well, it pretty much says it for itself. He makes the decision without her input. Basically, most likely I think the original premise, like the article I read announcing the show, was about some kind of investment or whatever, in some kind of like timeshare or whatever the case may be. And because of that, Curtis and Ella have to stay in Florida. Most likely it has to do with the surprise. Like Ella inherited something. I forgot the premise, but that was like months ago. So basically what I'm thinking here is that in episode 1, pretty much, CJ and his family go with Calvin, his kids, Curtis and Ella down to Florida. During this vacation, Curtis does something, most likely that investment, which means that they have to stay in Florida. Like, for all we know, he probably sells their house. And I think they're from Chicago, correct? In Illinois. I think that was the original setting. I feel like he does something that they lose their house and they have to stay in Florida. And hey, Ella and Curtis have to stay, but that's why CJ, Malik, Calvin, everybody else, they go back to their homes because Curtis and Ella have to stay, which could lead to, hey, here's all these other new characters. And that's why I feel that Malik and everybody else will be recurring characters, while the newer characters will be the people that live in Florida. That's why I feel like these 2 episodes are worthy of a video itself. Pretty much talking about, okay, here's why Curtis and Ella go to Florida. Oh man, Curtis makes this mistake, and that's why they have to stay in Florida. Explaining why all the other family members can't stay in Florida to be in every episode. So I just wanted to do this quick video. Surprise for the Paynes, Revelation of the Paynes. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a fun show. It's going to be worth a watch, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going into this show expecting it to be, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. I feel like this is definitely a great farewell letter to the fans. I mean, honestly, some might consider it a filler show for Tyler Perry to fulfill any kind of contractual obligations to OWN, saying that, hey, you need to make X amount of TV shows for OWN before you renew your contract or go to Viacom. So some people might think that this is what the show boils down to, but to be honest, I think it makes a lot of sense for him to be reviving his first major sitcom TV show to be his last show on OWN, unless the show goes on more than a couple of seasons and maybe shows up on another channel, or again, it could be a way to add closure to it. So with that being said, are you excited for the Paynes? Will you be tuning in next week when the shows come on? So let me know in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.